Welcome to Ignite to Impact, a weekly podcast that explores what it takes to make your community, our nation, and the world a better place. You've tuned in to be inspired and enlightened as we pull back the curtain and dive into intimate and energetic conversations with achievers and doers. We are talking with leaders who are in the trenches making phenomenal changes through business, nonprofits, education, and the arts. Our goal? To encourage, motivate, and challenge you to go to the next level in leadership. Now, here's your host, Master Leadership Strategist, Dr. Geneva Williams. So, let's ignite to impact.
Hi there, this is Dr. Geneva, and welcome once again, to Ignite to Impact, where we have conversations with leaders about how they're changing the world, making a difference, creating great change and impact. And we're once again broadcasting out of the fabulous studios of Gerald McBride, VoiceOver Productions. Thank you for being with us. And I am just really excited. I have just waited for the opportunity for our next guest that's joining me on my inaugural launch of this new podcast, Ignite to Impact. And you can hear my other podcast on iTunes. You know, we've had conversations with close to 60 leaders from across the country about leadership development, tools, tips, strategies on how to be a leader, and everything from power networking to career opportunities to how to create visions, all that good stuff. But now we're focusing our attention on people who are making a difference in the community, making an impact. Now, my guest now, I could go on and on about her financial savviness. She's a well-respected authority in the financial industry. She's also a best-selling author on everything there is to know about building wealth and being financially independent. She travels all over the country, giving speeches and talking on CNN and BET and every place else that you would think of. She appears in newspapers and articles, and I could go on and on about Gail Perry-Mason. And trust me, in the Detroit community, we respect her, we admire her. She's gotten so many accolades for her work in finance. She's a member of numerous groups, serves on the boards of our music hall here, and various other organizations. But the reason I have her with us today is to talk about the work that she's doing with young people and helping them learn about money, M-O-N-E-Y. And so, Gail, I am so delighted that you're here with me. How you doing?
I am doing wonderful. Anytime I'm with you, I'm wonderful.
Well, that's
You
great.
are one of my heroes. I mean, you are one that's always made an investment in the community, and the return has been totally priceless. I mean, I don't care. For years, that's all I know about Dr. Geneva Williams is making an investment in others.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm honored to be here. I love the studio.
Yes, isn't the studio fabulous?
The studio is so fabulous. Like, this is the best place to be. I mean, this is... Everybody needs to see the studio.
Yes.
I don't even know if we are on.
Yes.
Yeah, if we could ever go on live, but everybody needs to see this. It's so beautiful. Yes,
Isn't it
awesome.
wonderful?
It
And
is.
Gerald McBride, I mean, can you
Yes.
imagine just here with him? I'm just so thrilled.
I'm honored. I mean, we hear him on the radio. It's like, wow. Then
That's
you
right.
see, it's like, wow.
That's right.
An entrepreneur that's really doing things off the air.
That's right.
And helping others be on the air.
That's right. And that's what, and that's why it's such a terrific partnership, because the people that we're talking to, they come from all walks of life. They're entrepreneurs, they're nonprofit executives, they're artists, they're financial experts like yourself. And then they're also doing things to create change.
Yes.
Change in cities, changes in communities, in neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. And that's why I wanted to have Ignite to Impact, because I believe that there's this fire that's inside people like you. Mm-hmm. There's this passion that you have to make a difference, to make the world a better place. And you are doing so much incredible work with young people and helping them understand wealth management. So let's get to talking about that. I know you just came back from a fabulous trip, and I want to hear all about that. But you're the founder of Money Matters for Youth.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, you know what? Okay, Geneva, I'm going to tell you, 21 years ago, I was reading the Wall Street Journal, and they had rich kids camp, and it cost $10,000 to go to this camp, and every kid had to have $10,000 with them. Mm-hmm. And they were actually going to invest it in whatever they wanted to. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, who? So I looked at the picture of all the kids, and I said, wow, nobody looks like us. Mm-hmm. And I said, nobody could afford this camp. Mm-hmm. And I know I couldn't afford to send a kid and then give him or her $10,000 to play with in the market.
To play with.
Yes. Yeah, that's what it costs. I mean, so you're giving them $20,000. And then and I said, I need to do a camp just like this. And it will not be called Rich Kids Camp because it's not about, being rich. It's about being wealthy inside and out. So I said, I'm going to do something in Detroit and actually just charge $75. If they don't have $75, they don't have to pay. And then out of $75, $50 can go to a bank account. I said, I'm going to do the same exact thing. So I ended up calling my friends together, and I always had kids work for me. And I said, let's do this. And they're like, okay, let's do it. And I ended up putting on my first camp 21 years ago. And people who came through my camp, like Niles and so many other people that came to my camp 21 years ago, they'll come back and volunteer now and help me with the camp. So that's how I started the camp. And I wanted them to learn the same exact things. And I divided up the kids, small cap, mid cap, and large cap. But with the children, what they do is they learn everything from fencing lessons, how to stand, to how to set a table, etiquette, parliamentary procedure, how to start a business, and golf lessons, because most business deals are made on the golf course. So we do everything in this camp. So I love it. I love doing it.
Oh, that's phenomenal. So you've been doing that for 21 years. So I know you read this article, and that kind of set you on your path.
Yes.
But why? Why did that article that you read resonate with you? What was it? What was it that sparked you to say, I'm going to do this?
Because I looked at the article and I said, you know what? I want my kids to go to this camp. I wish I had an opportunity to do something like this. But I knew that opportunity wasn't there for us.
So I
had to create an opportunity for people who look like us and people who needed it the most. So we don't have trust funds. We have In God We Trust. So it's like, okay, I needed to get it for our babies so they could actually learn. And I said, you know what? The basis is they have to learn the value of themselves before they learn the value of the dollar. These kids that went on this rich kids camp that I saw in the Wall Street Journal really don't understand the value of the dollar because the dollar comes just like every day to them in a trust fund, in dividends. But our kids needed, I always say like Kodak film, they need development and they need exposure. So they need to be exposed to what other people have. They need to be exposed to golf. They need to be exposed to mentors. They need to be exposed to wearing pearls. All the girls wear pearls. They need to be exposed to how to shake hands, how to look people in the eye, how to network, interviewing skills. So they needed to be exposed. So it sparked an interest because I wanted to leave this world a better place and to make a difference. If one child was changed, that could change their world. And
phenomenal how, you just decided to do it yourself and you did it.
Yes.
And look, so how many young people have you had through your camp? How many?
Well, between Detroit Public Schools and my camp, over 6,000.
Oh my goodness!
Over 6,000 kids. We have touched their lives.
Yeah, and when you say with Detroit Public Schools, tell us about that?
I will go into school. I just go into Cody. I don't. It's not an actual program. I'll just ask, can I come to the economic classes? And I will actually take over a class once a week. And I don't get paid. No contract with DPS or anything. This way, I do it from my heart, and I can do what I want to. So I'll go, and that's exactly what I'll do. And I would teach the kids different things on investing. So I'll do it at Cody High School. I'll do it at Pershing. I'll do it at Osborne, King High School, Cass Tech. So I'll go to the different schools and do it there also.
And just do your thing.
Yes.
And so tell me about, what do the kids say about it? What's their reaction? What do the young people
oh, the kids look like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me I could own this company versus wearing this company? Mm-hmm. And I'll say, wow, I didn't know that. Oh, wait a minute. I can save money by going to the movies. I can save money because I teach them how to save money by going to the movies. I teach them how to apply for scholarships, different things like that. They say, wait a minute, I didn't know I can do this. So the thing is actually exposure. Mm-hmm. So in this year, we're adding photography.
Oh, now why photography?
I think they need to see part of Detroit. And then because I said kids are like Kodak film, we're going to actually do trips around Detroit of what's going on in Detroit. They're going to actually take pictures and they're going to actually develop them. So this year we're adding photography to the camp. Last year we added real estate. This year they're going to still have real estate, and we're going to have photography to the camp this year. And
so yes, in your camp, the young people, and what's the age range?
Ages 8 to 18.
8 to 18. Okay,
yes.
So you start them kind of young. That's great.
Well, they learn as soon as they learn how to ask for money.
Yes.
And our little 8-year-olds, they learn how to cook.
That's right.
They learn how to make trail mixes. They learn how, and they actually get a jar that says life. All our kids get a jar that says life, and that means living in financial freedom every day. Okay. And then they have to make deposits in this jar every day, because if you make more deposits in life than withdrawals, you'll never be in the negative. So all the kids learn how to make deposits.
Yeah, so you just wrap it all in there all together. What else do they learn? Tell us. I'm just so thrilled about the curriculum and what else they do. So they have a life jar. What else?
They have a life jar. They learn yoga.
Okay.
They have to learn how to meditate.
All
they do vision boards.
Why? Why do they have to learn how to meditate?
Because they learn how to be still and to see what they want. They learn also the value of each other. Like when you walk in every day, you shake hands and you say, this is my value. Then they have to learn the value in each other before they learn the value of the dollar. They also learn the 10-10-80 rule. You have to always give back 10%. Okay. And then you have to save 10%.
Okay.
And you only live off of 80%.
Okay.
They also learn how to start a business together. And they learn never exchange dollars for hours to pay yourself in dividends. So they learn you can come together. They learn they have a financial spelling bee. So financial spelling bee, they learn the word opportunity is the first word, because in the word opportunity is the word unity. They can do so much more together. They also learn money baseball, because and that we put sports into it. So they go from base to base to base and learn that how to hit a home run. That it takes teamwork, and then you have to go from base to base, and you have to learn how to help each other out. So they learn so many different things.
Yes, they do.
Ballroom dance lessons.
Okay, so now...
And the gentlemen learn how to hold the chair for the ladies.
Right.
No ladies can sit down unless the gentleman holds the chair. Okay. They learn how to waltz. They learn how to dance. So
this is really a comprehensive program. I mean, it might start out as a financial or money matters program, but once you get the young people in there, you're surrounding them with more than just the money piece. You're talking about life skills, independence, life skills. And so what made you, how did you come up with this idea to really expand beyond just the dollar and learning how to invest it?
Because money is a tool really to reach them. Okay. And I just really use it as a tool. Okay. And I think our kids need more. I think our kids need love. Mm-hmm. And because everybody says, oh, this kid is this way. And it's really because me being in foster care or knowing that kids need love, that's where it really came from. It's like people say, oh, Gail, can you mentor my kid? Can you help my kid? And people always ask me to help mentor their children. And they say they're bad or this is wrong. I'm like, no, all you need is love. Mm-hmm. So I think I just use money as a tool to really reach the child, to learn their own value, to help with their self-esteem, to help with what they want to be, and then become cheerleaders for one another. I'll become their biggest cheerleader because every kid I meet, I always see some value in them and more potential in them probably than they see themselves. And that's what we have to start seeing, and that's what our kids need. So it's really not even about the money. And it's about creating wealth in our community. Yes. And that means creating more love in our community. That means creating more unity in our community. And then these kids won't, you look at, every time you turn on the news, I just do not like them looking at something happen bad to a kid or something happen violent. There's never been, violence doesn't, we even talk about violence there and why they have it. And it's really over nothing. But if they learn to value each other, it's worth more than the value of the dollar.
You mentioned coming out of foster care.
Yes.
Was there an experience, or tell us about that? How does that drive you? How's that part of who you are and what you do?
Well, because when I was in foster care, I went from different foster care to foster care home, and I was labeled special needs. And kind of like nobody wanted me because it was actually in my paperwork, special needs and hard to place. And then my social worker I still had my mom saved the papers, and it said play with her a half an hour each day. So I was only talked to or played with a half an hour every day. And I was like, children need more than that. And then that's why by the age of 3, I still couldn't walk or couldn't talk. It's because I was only given attention a half an hour every day. So, and this is from the hospital growing up. So now I look at this is what, we need that love. We need every kid in my camp. I make sure I hug them every morning and every day when they leave. No matter I don't care if it's 200 of them, I give them a hug before they leave. So I think that has a lot to do with, what I do, because I think I owe it to the world. Because even though it wasn't given to me at the beginning, somebody still chose to give me that love. So who am I not to give it back? So if you're given something in this world, I think if you're given a gift from God, it's up to you to open it up to other people.
If you're just joining us, we're talking with the incredibly fabulous and so inspiring Gail Perry-Mason, financial guru, author, world traveler. See her on national media stations and outlets. She travels all over giving speeches, well known, lots of awards. But she's here talking about Money Matters for young people and how she has taken this program and just really grown it to a comprehensive, loving journey and opportunity for young people in the community. And she just shared with us the place that she came from. One may look at it as adversity, coming out of adversity and growing and learning. But she doesn't look at it that way. She's taken her life and made her life's journey for other people. So one of the things that I know you've just come back from is a trip to Chicago, and I'm looking at the front page of a paper here, and it's saying Detroit students attend shareholders meeting with Warren Buffett, and it's got Gail's picture on it. And so you just got to tell us all about that, because that's what I've been just dying to hear about.
Oh my God, Geneva, it was the most wonderful thing I've ever done in my entire life, and it was nothing but God.
Okay, and I want you to tell it from the beginning.
Okay. I mentors Indictment Sue and his family, and I love his family, love his mom, love everybody's dad. So I ended up going to a game, and he had his mentors there. It was like Rip Hamilton, Dan Marino. I didn't even know who
And this is
Dan
a Detroit
Marino.
Lions player.
He plays for Miami Dolphins now.
Yes.
And don't even ask me what position he plays. Okay. I'm not even a football person.
I wasn't going to ask you the position.
I love what he does off the field.
Yes. Okay.
So anyway, I was down there, and so Warren Buffett was right here, and all these other people were there. So I was like, oh my God. I study Warren Buffett all the time. I study what he gives. I study what he invests in. I study everything. So I was like, oh my God. I was like, hey, how are you? And I said, I talked to him about what he invests in and everything. I said, well, I know you do this, why? So I started the conversation. And I said, well, you know what I do? I run a money camp for kids. So I started, most thing I talk about is my kids. So I told him about my kids from Detroit. I said, this is what I'm doing in Detroit, how I divide them up, small cap, mid cap, large cap. And he was like, oh my God, that is so impressive. I love that you do this with kids. And I said, yeah, we study you and we talk about you in our camp. So it's such an honor to meet you. I said, I just really want you to touch me. So we took a picture of him touching my arm. And then he said, well, let me take another picture of me giving you, secrets. And then so we just played and talked and laughed forever. And I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting up here with this guy that, I adore and talk about, and never thought I would have an opportunity to meet him.
And
by the end of the day,
and Warren Buffett is CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. I mean, he is the founder of Berkshire Hathaway. He is Berkshire Hathaway.
He is the third richest man in the world right now. So here I am, like, wow, I'm with this man right here, the third richest man, and he is like so amazing, so down to earth. So, I mean, no security around him, no nothing. So I was like, wow, so this is what I'm going to do. So I told him about the kids, and he says, why don't you bring them to the Berkshire Hathaway meeting? And I said, how many can I bring? He said 20 to 25. What about 26? I'll, push the envelope a little bit. Right. So I was like, okay. So his office actually sent me the shareholder passes, not the student passes, the shareholder passes. Those shareholders, it costs a ton of money for the shares. So we were there with shareholders from all over the world.
Oh my goodness.
And so bottom line is I ended up renting a bus. We went to Omaha, Nebraska is where it was.
Okay.
Omaha, Nebraska. And it was just the most amazing. John Rogers from Arrow Capital Management. John took us to lunch one day. We went to Bank of West there because I spoke there years ago. And they remembered me. We did interviewing skills at the bank. We went from one place, and then one time we went out to Dave and Buster's. We had the best time. Berkshire had a picnic. Berkshire had a brunch. We took all the kids to brunch. We took all the kids, and then we got invited. So Bill Gates always plays ping pong with Warren Buffett. All my kids, like, here's Bill Gates right in front of us. I mean, just a few feet away. All my kids, they let us front row and center with Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and they were like, wow, we're right here with Bill Gates and Warren Buffett playing. I mean, we're the wealthiest people in the world, and they're right. But the mission of the trip was you never met a poor giver. Bill Gates is such a giver. Yes. Warren Buffett is such a giver. And you never meet a poor giver. And in the class, we talk about what is poor. Poor just really means passed over opportunity repeatedly. So the thing is, none of our kids are passed over. It's why they're poor. So this way, they're not poor if we have these opportunities and they see other people.
So what do you think what did you learn about this trip that you didn't know before?
Well, this is my first time attending Berkshire Hathaway shareholders meeting.
Okay.
It is huge. The whole city shuts down and gets involved. All the stores that he owns, whether it's Bowles, whether it's, Dairy Queen, whether it's Dunkin' Donuts, whether it's Wendy's, and whatever it is. So he has a whole stadium of everybody. And then you get discounts. If you own the shares. Well, my kids were like shareholders. Okay. So they were investors. So you get discounts on everything that he owns. And I don't care whether it's the shoe company, the candy company, he owns everything. So he owns every single thing. And, then this way they learn, exactly what he owns. They learn exactly, and I learned too that he owned more things than I thought he owned. So also we have a lot of other, I also learned that he's so down to earth, and that wealthy people walking around talking to one another, and they had one thing in common, that they were all shareholders. So, and that's what I wanted and my kids, let me tell you what they did. My kids went up and shook. Instead of people, they were coming up to us. Are they getting ready to perform? Why are they here? What are they doing? And I said, no, they're not getting ready to perform. So I told my kids to get together and go shake hands with everybody else. Introduce yourself. I'm from Detroit. I'm an investor. This is what I do. And they ended up talking. And I had some kids from Detroit Public School. They speak Chinese fluently.
Oh, my goodness.
And they were talking to the people from China.
That must have been, it was a once in a lifetime experience. I know that.
I just cried. That's all I could do.
So you took 26
kids.
26, again, age ranges 8 to 18.
Yes. And
how did you finance did Warren Buffett?
At a wine tasting. No, Warren Buffett. You know what? People ask me all the time. They said, did Warren Buffett pay for this trip? I'm like, no, Warren Buffett gave us an opportunity. Those shareholder passes were priceless. Then I said it's up to us to figure out how we're going to get here. So I asked God, I'm like, God, you're going to help me out here. So we gave wine tastings. We did everything to raise money. And let me tell you, Kiko Davis, First Independence Bank, and the Don Davis Legacy Foundation, they helped us.
Okay.
And then also Ally Financial, they helped us. And then Jaffrey Rate Law Firm gave us, and they sponsored a few students. So, and then the community came together. I don't care if they gave me $25. I don't care if they gave me $50. It was such a blessing that everybody had an opportunity to go. So I stepped out on faith. I put the hotel on my credit card, and the bus on my credit card. And then I said, I'll figure out how I'm going to pay the balance later and just work it out. So, and by 2 days before the trip, everything was paid for, and I gave all the kids a budget to eat. I gave them all $10. We're going to Cracker Barrel first. You have to budget this. I gave every time we would stop a place, everybody gets $10. So I gave them money to budget or different things. So it was a budgeting experience. It was a learning experience, and we even played old-fashioned games on the bus. And they couldn't even look at their phones. They were we created our own web, and we had so much fun, and I could not have done it without my very best, my dearest friends. They all came through and they all helped me. So I did not do this alone. It's just about sisterhood and about friendship, and I'm forever grateful.
And so what do you think the young people learned? What was the perhaps most important lesson that you think the young people learned or they talked about with you?
Well, you are not going to believe what they talked about.
What did they say?
They said they wear khakis all the time because they had on khakis.
Okay.
They said wealthy people wear khakis all the time.
Okay.
And they said they don't have things like Gucci belts or Louis Vuitton belt. I'm like, well, they own the companies, but they don't wear it. And they said, oh, they don't wear their assets. I'm like, no. So this came from the kids. They said they don't wear it. I'm like, no, they don't.
Interesting.
And that's what the kids told me on the bus. They said, wow. And I said, the people, they were walking around with all multimillionaires, and they were introducing themselves. And I said, it's all about relationships. So when John Rogers came and when we went to the bank, we all talked about having relationships and having an attitude of gratitude. Wherever we went, they said, thank you. You know, we're doing all our thank you notes now and everything. It's all about gratitude, and that's what it's all about.
You've worked now for so many years helping young people, exposing them to opportunities and things they would never have had the chance to see or to do. If you had in your hand a magic wand, what would you wish for young people of today?
If I had a magic wand, I would wish for all young people to know that they have so much potential and that they are loved and that they don't have to hate on one another for anything, and the sky is the limit for whatever they want. So I always start off my first day of my money camp, I have them put a balloon and I give them a marker and I have them write down what they want out of life. And then we go outside and then we lift the balloon up. And then we listen to the song Big Sean, One Man Can Change the World. To know that they can change this world themselves. And that's what they do. So I think if I had a magic wand, I would just, first of all, let them know that they are loved and they have so much potential and so much promise. And that's what I want them to know.
And then I'm just so fascinated by your 10-10-80. So the 80, the 10 of the saving and the 10 of the giving back. Because that falls right into line with what you were talking about everyone having potential, but everybody also being able to give back, and there are no poor givers.
Absolutely.
And so this 10 with the giving back and service, do you feel young people are responding to that? Do you feel that they'll be givers of service and be engaged in helping communities?
Oh my God. We had one girl in our class once in the money camp, and she was going to go away to college, and she was homeless. And instead of them paying themselves in dividends, starting their business and paying themselves, do you know what they did? They said, we don't need anything. We're going to give it all to her. They collected all their money together and sent it to her to go away to college. So they learn, I don't care if they were 8 years old or whatever, but everybody in this world has something to give. I know people complain, I don't have this, I don't have that, all the time. Everybody has something to give.
Gail Perry-Mason, I knew that having you as my guest would be just simply perfect because, you have just put your finger on it. Doesn't matter, I believe too, it doesn't matter what your background is, where you come from, where you live. Everyone has the ability to give.
Yes.
The ability to use the power within yourself, the ability to be a leader, to influence others, to act and to change. And you certainly, by your example, your personal example, and I know you involve lots of other people, but you are the driving force. I mean, you have this fire in you, that ignites you to make a difference. And we are just so blessed to have you a part of the Detroit community and the world. And so thank you so much for being on Ignite to Impact. You're one of those awesome examples of what an individual can do to create change.
And you are my Shiro, and you have been an example in my life forever.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I love you so much.
Love you back.
You've been listening to Ignite to Impact. Your host is Dr. Geneva Williams, an award-winning executive, facilitator, and master leadership strategist. Dr. Geneva is dedicated to inspiring others to get their leadership on and equipping the next generation with leadership tools and tips to help make the world a better place. Sign up to download Dr. Geneva's mini ebook on leadership. Get the show notes, links, and other resources at drgenevaspeaks.com. That's drgenevaspeaks.com. Thanks for listening. Please share the podcast to those in your community via Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Google+, and leave us a 5-star review in iTunes. When you do that, it helps others find the podcast easier. Send your questions or comments to info@drgenevaspeaks.com.